Audio. Okay. Hello and welcome to episode 250 of the Bad Wilf Podcast, guys. 250. Chris, Sam, can you believe it? 250. I think you guys have been involved for 50 episodes now.
Wow, yeah. Have we?
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
How long's it been going there? What's the first year it came out? Was it
2010?
2010.
Yeah. So 11 years. Approaching the 11th anniversary, actually.
Awesome.
Good grief.
Yeah. Sam, I see you've redecorated.
I have redecorated. Give us the line, Chris. I don't like it.
Hey,
Sorry,
there it is. There it is. Chris.
You've had this place redecorated, haven't you? I don't like it.
Chris, you've had some big news since we've been away. So, I don't know, I'll leave it to you to tell the listeners how your life has changed.
I basically become an insomniac due to the birth of my son, who is asleep over there, actually. So if I look off camera a lot, it's because I keep hearing him go, and I'll go, no, we're good. He's 3 weeks old today. No, he's adorable. Screams a lot. Screams a hell of a lot. I sort of compare him to the screaming caterpillar in Simpsons. It's sort of like that. But yeah, no, it's meant a lot of late nights and so on. So yeah, but I love him. He is adorable.
It's good to hear.
Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Hang on. Oh, sorry. Let's turn that down.
Too loud.
That's all right.
Sam, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, good. Same old, really. Same old.
Nothing
Same
to
old.
report?
Not a lot. No. No. Just carrying on, getting through the year, looking at brighter days ahead.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Nice. All right, so I thought today we'd do another negative Doctor Who review thing because they seem to go down extremely well. So,
And on video as well.
And on video, this time we're putting this up on YouTube for anybody that's listening to the audio. You can go and see I can't even talk. You can go and see our reactions on YouTube. I'm not used to being on camera. This is weird. Okay, so first one. I didn't go to the pub for this. I won't make that mistake again.
I didn't go to the pub for this. I won't make that mistake again. Good number of episodes where I wished I was in the pub. Any hint as to what sort of era?
It's a Capaldi one.
Oh,
Of course.
Saturday night. I mean, that is the point where Doctor Who was going on quite late at night, wasn't it? Like it'd gone from that sort of 5:15, 6 o'clock time, and suddenly it was going at 8:45 and things like that.
Really
It was like finishing at 9 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah, weird.
Sleep No More?
No, oddly.
Because I remember where I was when Sleep No More came out. It was the Doctor Who Festival on at the time.
That's
in
right.
London.
I remember that was on.
And everyone was really, they had a sort of, I think they had a sort of screening of it towards the evening, but most people did just go to the pub.
I went to that on the Friday, so yeah, I didn't stay for the Saturday.
Yeah.
Deep breath.
It's not Deep Breath. This one is considered one of Capaldi's best. Like, everyone loves this.
Heaven Sent.
Yeah, it's
hang
could
on.
be.
Yeah,
I think that.
Heaven Sent.
I'll be honest, I think that one's a very overrated.
You know, I absolutely hated it at the time of
I
broadcast.
don't like it. I don't like it as such.
I agree. I don't get it really.
His performance is brilliant, but generally I found the whole thing quite pretentious and dull.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of long, and this has happened mainly with the Capaldi and the Jodie era. Is the long monologues to themselves?
Yeah.
I just don't think. Yeah, it just makes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Every now and then, a doctor would do that, but they would go on for at most 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And normally they just sort of say to themselves, or it might be a turn to the camera, not even the sonic screwdriver can get me out of here, or they'd explain where they are, going, but there have been some really long ones, and then you give them a whole episode of him just sort of chatting to himself. It's like, no, I'm not a fan. I've never watched it back, actually. I watched it at the time and just went, it's one where they don't have to play Jenna Louise Coleman. That's where she took her week off. And then everyone afterwards was going, that was the most amazing. And you're like, it was, it was a pretty interesting idea.
Good performance, nice artistic style, but I found it was just too pretentious. And
I got so much abuse when I said I didn't like that online.
It's weird, isn't it? Well, then you watch the next episode, which was even worse. Yeah. and it actually did ruin the Heaven Sent as well, because he spends 2 billion years inside the confession dial when all he had to say was, I don't know the answer. Because the whole thing there was like, he knew the answer, he just refused to give in to whoever was controlling the thing. That was the impression I got in the episode. But come the next week, it turns out he didn't know what it was at all. What a twat.
Okay, moving on.
Well, I'd just like to say, have you ever imagined episodes like Heaven Sent, but like it was the Seventh Doctor? Like, I'd quite enjoy the Seventh Doctor just going, just sort of running around he gets he tries to distract me, plays the spoons to try and distract it. He'd get further with his umbrella as well if he just chipped away. He would have done it in 700 million years or something. And
then for no reason at all, he'll go to the window and just hang out. Okay, next one. This episode sits in a shit sandwich between Time and the Rani and the Twin Dilemma as one of the most awful Doctor Who stories of all time. This is the only stinker in the RTD era.
Oh, imagine that between Twin Dilemma and Time and the Rani.
Love and Monsters?
It must be.
It's not.
Yeah. It's not.
Oh, I thought you were going for the thing then. He's tricked us.
Yeah, that was
that's a red herring.
He's getting used to the camera being on.
I would like to say, first of all, I like Time and the Rani. I like it. So whatever it is, I just want to state that now. I think it's good fun. It's great fun. I don't still really understand it. The giant brain looks ridiculous, but I think it's Benedict Cumberbatch's mum's in that as well.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
She's in Only Fools and Horses. She's Cassandra's
mum.
She
is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she is, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's also in the Faceless Ones as the one of the, I think, the commandant's assistant in Faceless Ones.
I think she's done a few, hasn't she? Because if I'm right in thinking, she's in the Image of Fendal. Is it Image of Fendai? That one? Image of Fendal. And she's in it with the dad, Cassandra's dad from Only Fools and Horses. They play together.
Yeah.
So it's actually it's Cassandra's mum and dad in the early days before they had Cassandra. They were fighting off
they were off on adventures. All right. It's a David Tennant one, I will say that.
Oh, God, this must have been on it. I'm going to say...
New Earth?
No, right series, though.
Series 2. Oh, okay, so not Love and Monsters, not New Earth. What about...
Good God.
So what would make someone kick off? Idiot's Lantern?
No.
Oh, quite like that one as well.
Is it one that's people generally like? No. So they collectively think it's
Collectively,
shit.
this is considered shit. A shit sandwich, yeah.
So not Love and Monsters.
Fear Her.
Oh, Fear Her. That was awful.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you guys make of Fear Her?
I can't remember it. I think I've only watched it once.
I think I've seen it a couple of times. It's just the worst.
It's a cancel road and a cancel van and a cancel axe.
But the cancel. Who wrote that?
Russell T. Davies.
It was.
Are you sure?
I thought it was Matthew Graham, wasn't it?
No, you're right. Yes, it's the Life on Mars guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He obviously thought, no one's taking my credit away.
The only best bit about that entire episode is where the TARDIS lands the wrong way at the
I
beginning.
like that, yeah.
That bit made me laugh, and the rest of it...
I mean, what's really weird about that now, looking back, is that is a episode that is set 11 years ago, but at the time was set 6 years in the future.
Yeah, it was
How
the 2012
odd is
Olympics,
that?
wasn't it?
Yeah, but like that back then when it came on telly, the 2012 Olympics seemed like a lifetime away. Like it seemed like so far ahead. You thought, God, we're going to be on the moon by 2012. What are you even talking about? And they're like, yeah. And I mean, that bit when oh God, it's one of the most cringeworthy moments when everyone disappears and you've just got the commentator going, oh no, everyone has disappeared. The Olympic dream, it's dead. I was like, I don't think we're worrying about the Olympic dream, mate. Everyone's just disappeared. And first thing you do is go, I'm being shown some old pictures on my monitor from earlier in the day. Sorry about this, technical fault my end, but I hope everyone... And then when the doctor picks up the thing, it's, no, the dream is alive. The Olympic dream, it's happening. I'm feeling it, the love. And it's like, and the second he got up there, first of all, the amount of security, I went to the Olympics, the amount of security was on, he wouldn't get anywhere close. Secondly, once he got up there, you could just imagine remember the controversy about who was going to light the flame. It was going to be David Beckham, so Steve Redgrave. In the end, they did that very clever thing that they gave it to 5 kind of part of the youth team. Very clever. But imagine him running up and everyone being like, who the hell are you? Why are you doing it?
I remember people saying that they had to get David Tennant to do that bit for they actually at the 2012 Olympics to make it canon or make it fit.
God. Yeah.
But that would be like, announcing a new doctor halfway at half time during a football match.
Didn't Matt Smith run with the torch at one point?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Crap, dull, and amateurish. This is the worst Doctor Who opener of all time. Poor casting, dire writing, terrible plots, hopeless dialogue. Did Chris Chibnall secretly write this? This is a hopeless showrunner who has long since run out of ideas. Dear BBC, you either need to kill the show or sell it to J.K. Rowling.
Oh, God. to J.K. Rowling. So is that it's... is that a sarcasm about J.K. Rowling? Is it an episode that quite mimics Harry Potter or
no, not at all?
Or transphobia?
It's just someone just wants to hand the reins over to J.K. Rowling, who I'm sure
this was at the time she was beloved.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So we're talking a few years ago. So when I'm saying did Chibnall write this, I'm assuming this was pre-Chibnall era.
This was a Stephen Moffat one.
Yeah, okay.
Did this person really not like Chris Chibnall then?
I guess not.
This must be a more recent review, surely.
Well, either that or this person
was,
hated Chris Chibnall and then
Chibnall was writing
devastated
during the RTD Moffat time.
True.
So that makes me think that maybe whoever this person was, when they announced Chibnall was taking over, he had an absolute meltdown.
There was a guy on Twitter, an actor that used to follow me, and as soon as the news was announced, he was like...
I know. Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
I know the guy you mean.
And I remember saying to him, like, mate, you're just making people you're putting people off hiring you because you look really petty. What if they called tomorrow and said, we've got this part, you're perfect? Are you going to tell them, I think your series is shit? Or are you going to buck it up and take it? What are you going to do?
Who is this?
I don't agree with being bought out, but if you're going to pay me enough, I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's some guy named Cliff something.
Oh, Chapman.
Oh, right, okay. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I've had arguments with him.
What was
but the worst thing is I'm now thinking he was right.
Yeah, pretty much everything he said was going to happen.
Two seasons in, I'm like, kind of sorry about that, mate.
I wouldn't go that far. All right, I will say this is a Matt Smith, and it's a Series 5 episode.
Oh,
They said it's an opener, or the opening of it is the worst bit.
No, it was just crap, dull, and amateurist.
The Vampires of Venice?
No.
Beast Below?
No.
What, the season finale?
Nope.
Pandora Crow? No.
No. I like that. I like that finale.
Big Bang?
No.
No.
What would be...
It's not the Silurian one, is it? No. That is Chibnall, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be quite funny if you did Chibnall write this. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did, mate. Yes.
I am not surprised.
Not the 11th hour. Oh, no.
It's one of the best openers of all time. It's the one I tell people that have never watched Doctor Who before to go and check out.
I think I can see why they might say amateurish, because it looks like they've had a budget cut between the last. But yeah, no, it's a pretty decent episode, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I really like that one.
All right, moving on. God knows how this was given 100% by the so-called critics. They must be shills for the BBC. Say you love Doctor Who, you get a career. Tell the truth, never work again. It had a pointless subplot, a returning clown, and don't get me started on the disservice it does to the history of the show.
Ooh, is it? Just gonna shoot from the hip. Is it the 50th anniversary special?
Wow.
How did you guess?
I just think it's that. One, it was the disservice to the past, because I know a lot of people started kicking off about that. With the War Doctor, I think people didn't like that. And I kind of get that. I wasn't a big fan of the War Doctor. And I understand the issue. The issue was that at that time, I mean, people think that, well, in the UK, I'd say Doctor Who was at its most famous during the Tennant era. So series 2, 3, and 4. But actually, worldwide, it was probably around series 5, 6 because of how big it hit in America by now. And they were getting all the repeats. So to them, they kind of had two Doctors, because I think Tennant and Matt Smith's episodes was just sort of bundled up and shown over there. Yeah. So when you get told you're going to do a 50th anniversary, if the series was as it was now, and they're just going to do a 50th anniversary at the end of an episode, and say it was the Matt Smith and David Tennant would be a big enough draw to bring back. And if Eccleston turned it down, they would probably have brought in Paul McGann to do it. I still think he would have brought in Paul McGann, but you just know the BBC turned around and went, look, you're putting this in cinemas. This is going to be our biggest show of the year. We need a Hollywood. And I genuinely think had John Hurt turned it down, they would have gone for someone else. They would have gone for an A-list.
Didn't he get it was like they asked him on the Thursday and he was there on the Monday? It was like something really quick turnaround.
Well, we nearly got a version of the 50th anniversary that had no doctors in it because they'd all lapsed on their contract. Even Matt Smith was out of contract.
Yeah, I heard that.
So he had to write a draft that was just Clara and Unit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. I think, though, it would have been Colin Baker just turning up.
Did you remember that at the time? Because, Peter Davison made that 5-ish Doctors reboot.
Yeah.
People saw out of context protest signs with those doctors and assumed they were really protesting outside. I remember it kicking off on
amazing
on Twitter, and people were like, "See, even the original doctors are against this."
That's so funny. I love the 5-ish Doctors. It's got a really good. That's just great sense of humour. That is. No, I do think that he would have gone. Well, I'll get Paul McGann in. That'd be great. But I think it probably was the people higher up who said, no, we need someone big. I think if it hadn't been him, it would have been Orlando Bloom. It would have been, I genuinely think they would have gone and picked sort of people who were quite big in the film industry at the time. Daniel Craig. I genuinely think there is a rumor that he put a few calls out to say who would want to do this and sort of bounce the ideas about, and then luckily John Hurt did come forward, and I get that. So if you're going to have to replace Eccleston, it's good that you came up with a different concept, and considering he probably had to write that whole idea pretty quickly, then I kind of get it, and I feel for him. And John Hurt did do a fantastic performance, and his War Doctor thing, it's what's it called? It's a bit of a serendipity, really, in the case that because one bad thing happened, Eccleston didn't want to do it, then someone else did it. But it's a shame because I think had Eccleston been in it, that would have been something to see. Eccleston, Tennant, and Smith.
Yeah. All right, moving on. All our fears were confirmed. This was terrible. I have watched Doctor Who since 1972.
Nice.
Because he's not a true fan then.
No, a true fan would have been born in the 50s.
That was the woke series where they were all just. I hate that woke series. Joe Grants and.
So if you haven't been watching since 1963 on that cold night in November, then there's no way you're a real fan.
Oh God. You'd have to give us a bit of a clue there, Martyn. Doctor.
Right, this is an Eccleston.
Oh no! You know, I don't like these. Anyone who's sacked off the first series, I just can't do it.
So our fears were confirmed. Gotta be Rose, isn't there?
No.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I know. I can imagine the people going, well, this is certainly not the 25-minute special I was expecting.
Didn't it leak online earlier?
It did.
Yeah.
And there was a chance. I was so tempted to download it, but then saw better of it. But a few of my friends or people I chatted to online back in the days where it was suspicious, like forum chats and everything like that, with a load of people when you were about 14 and you're talking to a load of 30-year-olds on the phone. Anyway, they were saying that, oh no, it's not that brilliant, it's not great. But I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's great. It's the one that made me become a fan. I watched this. It was my sister's ex-husband's birthday, the day that this broadcast. So we were at his parents' house, and the house was full of kids. And we all sat down, whatever time it went on, I don't remember. And we watched it. But I didn't illegally download it at the time because I still lived at my mum and dad's. And up until 2008, they still had dial-up internet. So there was no way I was downloading this in 2005. I remember when I moved down in... I moved out in 2006, and I moved in with the girlfriend that I first lived with. And she's like, oh, let's download a film. And I was like, oh, this is going to take about 3 days. So 3 days? And it was done in like an hour. So, yeah.
What is this dark magic? What was I going to say? Is there any differences between the released pilot?
The theme music was different.
And Graham Norton interrupted the broadcast version.
Yeah, he did. I remember that. I thought that was strange. There was then the theme music. They didn't actually put Murray Gold's theme on there. It was like I think it was like John Pertwee's theme or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. I don't know what the other details were. I didn't actually again watch it, but I heard about that.
I don't know if they did a whole scene with a green screen missing, like it was just green. Just act something out, like the final thing.
Well, I'm sure I remember watching Confidential, and they said that last shot where he's got the TARDIS background behind him was an afterthought. Was like something they thought it was filmed with just the black behind him, like like the most TARDIS scenes. So it's always like you could see the black inside of the box. But yeah, I think it was with, I can't remember is it Mao Young?
Yes.
It suggested actually, put the background in there so we can actually see inside the TARDIS behind them.
Yeah, I think that was a great idea. I think that's something that always, I mean, if you look back at the old series now, and I'm sure you've seen it since, Martyn, every now and then they, which I find, I'm sure there's some sort of rules about, once they've gone through that, it's the, ironically, they got it right in the very, very first series. I mean, the only difference you've got is obviously that when the doors are open, you don't have, like in the picture behind me, actually, obviously that's the outside of the door, and the outside of the door doesn't have police box on it. It's these big doors. But there's a really good scene in Sensorites, which isn't a good story, really, but it's got quite a good scene where they walk out together, and what you could always see in the early series is you could see what was outside through the doors. So the doors would open and they would be inside the TARDIS, and they could look out and they would see like what was outside. And that happened for a good, I think the majority of the first 2 Doctors run, but it's quite interesting because it opens up.
Yeah, and then Marco Polo did that. Sort of the end of the edge of destruction did that, didn't
That's
they?
it. Yeah, so it opens up. There's snow out there, and you see snow coming in, and the same with and because they've got these grand doors, it looks really good. And the Sensorites does it really well because they're just in there chatting, and all in the same shot. The doors open, and it just opens up into this creepy spacecraft where two guys are kind of passed out in their seats, and they walk out really slowly, and then the doctor says, "Lock the door," and then it cuts, and they're outside the police box, and she just turns around and shuts the door, and it's done really nicely. But I mean, later on, you see things like, I mean, the one that sticks in my mind is Claws of Axos, where John Pertwee goes, "Goodbye, Joe. I shall miss you," and he slams the door behind him, and then it's a good 6 seconds of Joe running up to it and going, "No, don't go, don't do." And then it cuts to the inside. So the doctor just walks in through 2 double open doors. It's it's always like there's first set of doors, and then a hallway, and then going in. And also, if you look out of there in that episode, the doors when they're open, the round doors carry on outside the door.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's very strange, and it's again, and especially things like, I think it's the 3 Doctors, where at one point they just leave the 2 doors open, and you just see this wood background. It's so bad.
All right, shall I do the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Who asked for this? Did we really need it? What was the point? He wasn't canon in my head, so why bring him back?
Blimey. He's not canon in my head.
Some
of these are so angry. It's like, man, just have a wank and calm down.
Yeah, who wouldn't be canon?
I'm trying to think, because canon would imply that they're in the other media. They're not actually. They've not been in the show before.
This one was definitely in the show. I'll say that.
Outrageous shout.
That's not the definition of canon, then, is it?
I think I've got this one. Is it School Reunion with K93?
No.
Oh, no, because I thought they might not count the third one because he was in the spin-off.
Some fans of Timequake out there.
Yeah, remember when that came out 3 years ago and we all loved it?
No, I can't do that anymore ever since we reviewed the I forgot his name. What was that film we reviewed? Not even last year now, year before.
Syl and the Devil Seeds of Arrow.
Yeah, started slagging it off. And your friend was just like, "Sam, I think you need to think about what you're saying. These are dedicated fans who have spent." And I was like, yeah, I feel a bit bad now.
It's won awards, for Christ's sake.
No, it was rubbish. It's so rubbish.
It really is.
So bad. I just don't like anything where it's a lot of just standing and talking and all that. And it's good fun. It's great to see Syl again, but what the hell was it? And then later in the day, Jeremy Corbyn was holding it.
Because some person just gave it to him.
It was
they?
Nabil Shaban gave it to him.
Oh, Christ's sake.
He said, "I'm in this," and just gave it to him.
I wonder if that was Corbyn's Bacon Sarnie moment.
That's what lost in the election. People were like, "He likes this."
Or maybe they thought Syl was real. Maybe they thought, maybe if you take this and we can rule together. Home Secretary Syl. Probably doing a better job than what we've got, to be fair. Preti Patel, Syl.
All right, so what's your guess?
Oh, right. It's the canon thing gets me. So someone
doesn't understand the definition of canon, because once they're in the show, they're canon.
Yeah.
You can't go and say, well, they're in the show now. I didn't, I'm just being pedantic on wording here. Okay, so that doesn't narrow it down. So is it a classic character they brought back?
He's considered classic, yeah.
That's why K9 is the only one I could think of. Classic character.
It's not Macra. That was a weird one.
No, that's 2.
What Doctor is it with?
It's an 8th Doctor.
8th Doctor.
Well, 8th Doctor story, this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, oh, God, is it? Because you wouldn't have done the TV movie. Is it the Night of the Doctor? Oh, that's
Who could be
hard.
angry at that? That's a
so
great
good.
mini episode.
That was like the fact he goes, I'm the Doctor, but not the one you're expecting, gave everyone like chills and excitement. They finally made it.
That was my favourite thing, because I remember seeing there was a preview out. And I remember putting it on my phone because I saw there was a preview out. And then I watched it, and it was, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll see this, whatever it is, I started watching it. And it was like, I'm the Doctor. And I was like, what? I was like, it's my one. It's mine. It's my one. My Doctor's back. And it was just like, and I remember seeing it was like 8 minutes long, whatever, and watching a little bit and then pausing it because I just thought, I want to save you that couple of seconds. It was really good.
All right, let's move on. We've got 2 more left.
God, that's made me angry.
I knew it would. This features the worst Doctor and companion of all time and is one of the worst Doctor Who Christmas special episodes. However, it has some great moments and a genuinely scary concept. Had this been Ten and Rose, this could have gone down in the television history.
Last Christmas? Oh.
Straight on it, Chris.
I had to narrow it down. I thought, well, instantly Clara. And I also thought this concept is quite good. Yeah. But then Santa comes back and saves Clara from a really good ending.
Yeah.
So, fuck you, Santa.
So, Sam, what did you make of Last Christmas?
I mean, what year was that? Was that 2014?
It must have been, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it was all right. It was fine. I quite like it when the Doctor shouts "Yippee-ki-yay." That's the fun bit. Riding a sleigh, yippee-ki-yay! But yeah, that's quite. But I thought 12th Doctor would definitely have added "motherfucker" on the end of that. Yeah, I quite like the idea actually. I like that it starts to look like Alien, and then they have randomly, who's obviously played by Troughton's son as well, goes, they're a bit like the face huggers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what? So then they all look at each other like, don't break the fourth wall. And that's quite nice that they do that. Yeah, so it is actually a very, very good idea. I actually think it's one of those ones where there's a good concept behind a Christmas special. Like, I think the Christmas Carol one's done really well. I think that's really good fun. And this was done quite well. Yeah, I think so. I feel like I've watched this one back actually once or twice, but yeah, I think it's all right. But you're right. It was that thing where it was absolutely fine for Clara to have left at the end of this episode.
Yeah, it would have been so much better. We could have had Pearl Mackie even earlier. That would have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen she's got a new Audible podcast thing out? It's called Sour Hall, and it's recorded in binaural sound. And it's her and her partner go to a cottage somewhere in the woods, and they get attacked by monsters and zombies and all of that. And I've not heard it yet, but there's 2 episodes out now. I'm planning to do that next. But it's completely 360 sound, so when you're listening, it's like everything's all around you.
I bet that's quite spooky.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen. All right, this is the last one.
Okay.
On paper, this is a classic. Sadly, its 2 leads are both incredibly bad actors. I've seen less wood at IKEA.
Oh, man. I mean, 2 leads. So 2 leads. So I assume that means it's 1 Doctor, 1 companion.
I will say, this is another Eccleston.
Oh, no. Dalek?
So it's
not Dalek.
What's the review? Say it again.
Let me pull it up. On paper, this is a classic. Sadly, its 2 leads are both incredibly bad actors. I've seen less wood at IKEA. Shouldn't it be in IKEA and not at IKEA?
Yeah, probably.
I'll take that.
So 2 lead actors. So back when it was just Eccleston and Rose. Oh, and Father's Day? No.
What? That was one of the most heart-wrenching episodes there was.
It's a classic.
Twitter wasn't around back then.
No.
So imagine how, actually, we think about it now, had Twitter been around in the 2005 series, I wonder if that would have changed things, because at the time, all the critics loved it.
Yeah.
And, I can't imagine really thinking that any other than that. But yeah, you think about it, Twitter at the time, they would have gone mad for it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not at home to the core now, but I've got to admit he wrote a great episode here.
I really like it, yeah. I like Cornell, actually. I quite like his Big Finish stories as well. I've listened to a couple of them. I think they're very good. 2005 was a strange time. You were talking earlier, Chris, about websites where people could contact each other then before social media. Now, it's just reminded me of one of the funniest things I got stuck on, because I remember watching the penultimate season final. I think it was Bad Wolf was the penultimate one.
Yeah.
And after that, my friends, because everyone was getting into that series then, and I was the only one who'd really watched it as a child. So like, well, what does this mean? What's happening? I went, I don't know. What's Bad Wolf? I don't know. And we'll find out. So I put on like my laptop and I searched, and I found this site. I think it was called something like plasticbag.org or something like that. And there was like a stream or like a chat board of like people discussing their ideas about what Bad Wolf were. And there were some hilarious ideas. And I mean, they're just the funniest arguments. Some people thought it was Adric, because Bad Wolf had been there since the dawn of time. So they were like, well, he crashed into Earth at the beginning of time, so it's going to be Adric. As if that, imagine that in this brand new series.
Omega, they keep revisiting, don't they? They keep
the series, they went out of their way to make sure it was accessible. They're suddenly going to bring back Adric. That's crazy.
Some people thought it was Ace, and the idea that Doctor had done something to Ace, and therefore she was going to come back. But one of my favourite ones was someone had worked out this. I'll never forget this, because I'd show it to my friend. Someone had worked out this was their theory for Ace, because the idea was that she was something like that. Her age was going to be 26, and they worked it out with all this maths of stuff, and it was like, oh, and then this is 26, and they said, and this, although it's 2005, this is season 26. And someone replied underneath, it's fucking season 27, you fucking fuckwit. So much anger from this guy.
What gets me is the anger that some fans have towards things. It's just
that was before Twitter could flag that and go, too much swearing, that's abusive. You couldn't block anyone. This was just this random forum. Someone just went mental at him for trying to come up with this little idea. Poor bloke.
It looks like you're just like putting an invisible glass to your.
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
mouth, yeah.
Like Delphon.
Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. We got through it pretty quickly. Sam, you got anything to promote? I know you just did a new episode of, was it Comedians Talking About Football?
Yes, Comedians Talking About Football is my podcast. If anyone's interested in football, we get good comedians come on and chat, not just about football as well. We talk about their careers, comedy and stuff like that. And that's now available. You can just find it anywhere, really. If you Google Comedians Talking About Football, we probably come up somewhere up there, or Spotify, Apple, and all that malarkey. Otherwise, not much else going on, unfortunately. No live shows this year, probably. No. But
do you think this year is just a complete write-off again?
I don't know. I've got my first online gig, actually, on the... I don't know whether people can find that. I only agreed to it about an hour ago.
Is that via Zoom or...?
Yeah, it'll be via Zoom. It's the 13th of February, and I have no idea who it's for or what I'm doing or how it's going to work, because I haven't actually done one yet. I'm hoping to do maybe a show online for the year that the lockdown, the anniversary year of the lockdown. I'm thinking, because I've written lots of stuff during the year, I'm thinking of doing maybe a one-off show just to camera, and it's stuff that I would have mentioned in the summer or whatever, and it's jokes I'm probably not going to be able to use when everything gets lifted. So I'm probably just going to say sod it and record a half an hour show and put it out, see if people like it.
You might as well. I've noticed that you're kind of a viral TikTok star now. One of your videos has got thousands and thousands of views.
Well, I should probably do more on there. I've got about 10 TikTok ideas to do. And I never get around to doing them because the one thing I don't really care about. Like I prefer to do Twitch. Like I love doing Twitch at the moment. I've been on that. You can follow me on Twitch, by the way. Basically, I always have the same handle. If you want to find me on Instagram, Twitter, anything like that, it's at Sam Michael Lol. So Sam Michael with an OL on the end. You see what I've done there? But yeah, I've been doing Twitch, some retro gaming and there and stuff, which has been quite good fun. I became an affiliate on there, so that was great. But yeah, on TikTok, I put up one thing because I put a sketch on Instagram that I think had about 12 likes, and someone said, "Oh, that sort of thing goes on TikTok." So I opened an account, put it on there, left it, and now it's got I think 300,000 watches.
It's incredible.
I've got 1,000 followers on there. No idea who they are or what they want, but it's nice. It is genuinely nice. You can follow me on TikTok if you want. I'll try and do something down the line. But something we should plug is that finally my cameo in Dark Dimension.
Oh, yes, we should talk about Dark Dimension, Chris. I listened to the first episode, really enjoyed it. So, Sam, you're in episode 2. What was it like to record, guys? You did it at home, right? You weren't in a studio or anything.
Yeah. I did it. It was so long ago. It was before I even moved into this flat. But no, it was great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed doing Oliver Hawkesbury, and it was quite nice. I wasn't going to listen to the whole thing live because I was like, I'll listen to it later on. But then suddenly I just went to go and check it, and it literally just started with the brilliant. They've done that brilliant bit with the continuity of the end of Casualty or something like that, and a bit of sports coverage, and then it was just brilliant, and it just started. So I was like, right, sorry, I'm just going to sit in this room and just listen to the whole thing.
It does feel like a special from that era would have felt.
Oh God, yeah.
They've done very well with that. They did a very good job of making it look like it was recorded off the telly, because you get sort of like 5 seconds of EastEnders, bit of match of the day from the 90s, and then it's all from 1993 as well, I think. And then there's that really spooky thing that I knew Billy was going to do this, and it was because I'd seen a picture of it that he'd taken off, and they've got this kind of, it's like an advert for House of Horrors or something, and it's this guy dressed as a demon, and it sort of flickers on the screen for a second, and then it goes to BBC One. You've got the coming up in and out, because Saturday night, obviously, Casualty's on in an hour. And then they do, the thing is, whoever they've got to do the voiceover for the BBC One.
Benji,
oh, was it?
Benji Clifford, yeah.
Oh, brilliant, because they've got the language and the tone for that era. So right. The formidable Time Lord.
Well, he did the intros to the Troughton audios.
Did he?
His idea to do at the beginning. Goes, and now on BBC One, it's Doctor Who.
It's so well done. It's that way it goes. Was it? And now we go. Now we go in time, or should we say forward in time? Which is so like. I remember the 1996. I've still got on video, and I've transferred it to digital. The original broadcast of the '96 TV movie.
Oh wow!
And it's got the whole line of now on BBC One, he's back, and it's about time. And it just it fades from the BBC One logo into into Scaro. It's really nicely done, actually.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So that was very, very nicely done. And and your performance, Chris, was fantastic. You were,
thank you.
We're not biased, but yours was the best.
I was menaced by you in that, Chris. And it's weird because I've only ever heard you play kind of nice guys and stuff. Like you do Troughton a lot, and he's a nice guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
and I know you, and you're a nice guy. And then I got this side of you that I've never experienced before.
I really went absolutely mental with it. When I just got into it. I was trying to do Rick Mayall to start with, but I just scrapped that idea because it just wasn't possible. I basically was just watching clips of his lines from Hogs of War. He does all the voices of the pigs in Hogs of War.
Yeah.
If you ever listen to it, it's how did you do, or something like that. And And I just tried to do that, and then eventually it became its own sinister.
Yeah, that's what I thought was good, because it would be very easy. When that came out, I know Billy is a huge fan of Rick Mayall. I think it was always his pick. He wanted Rick Mayall to be the Doctor, and I've always argued that's a rubbish idea. But anyway, I know he's a big Rick. I thought when he was recording it, I thought he was going to do it. And I thought it'd be very easy to do that rather than going, oh, Vivian, oh, oh, bigger on the inside. It'd be very easy to do that. And I was like, when they cast you as it, I knew, I was like, oh, good, because Chris will do something his own to it. Chris will be like, this is my role, and this is how it's going to play out. And it's done so nicely.
Oh, thank you.
And it's genuinely, I'd say it's done more. I could imagine if Rick Bell got the role, he would have gone a bit pantomime villain with it. And but for the whole way through, which he was great at doing, and he was that good to have pulled that off. But I like that you've gone for genuine who baddie. Like if you were genuinely cast as a who baddie, that's how I would imagine you being. It's great.
It's just great fun. I mean, the bit that I quite like is where he's talking to the Dalek, and he goes, "Oh, how delicious!" You know that line. I just had fun. I just like it was everything. I just relished every bit of it, every line, all the rants and everything.
Who plays the various doctors? I know I heard Matt Toffolo, who does Baker.
I'm not actually sure. I can't remember. I know that L. Crossley and John Carley have done some stuff for it, but I'm not sure who has. Whether they've included 10 or whoever, I'm not sure.
Because I wondered if they. I don't know whether you can give away if it's a spoiler. Does the second Doctor turn up?
No.
See, I thought they would take advantage of that, because I thought the reason at the time the script only had 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is because we only had them. But
I think that was the plan at the time as well. I think it was because Pat Troughton had died by that point.
Yeah, he had. It was 90s. So I mean, I did wonder if in this version of it they'd be able to bring in the first and the second Doctor, but no, kept it loyal to the 90s.
Sam, who do you play?
I play. I don't actually have a name. I looked at it. Billy said, "Oh, there's a small part in this. Do you want to do it?" And I went, yeah, sure. And I sort of looked at it, and I recorded it once, and I went, "Oh, do you know what?" And I don't know whether actually the first take was better, because I just sort of did it in my sort of Mockney accent, and it was all fine. And I went, "No, don't. I want to have fun with this." I was like, "This is like typical kind of low rent comedian gets a gig in Doctor Who in the 70s." And I treated it like that. I properly went for so imagine opening, so they have released the clip, because I was a bit worried, because I did put online, I thought it was in episode 1. So I put a clip online and said, "Oh, watch this. I'm in an audio Doctor Who and I get killed by Yeti." And then someone was like, "Oh, is that a spoiler?" I was like, "Oh no, they did put that clip out separately and you can hear it's a Yeti." Yeah. So I get killed. I am very much kind of, you imagine a sort of a Pertwee era or Troughton era kind of bit part, down in the mines. Here, come on then, we got to get going in a minute. And then the camera sort of pans to my face. No. And then my friend actually said, we had a bit of a running joke when we were at uni, because he was a Doctor Who fan. I said, "Wouldn't you just love to be in Doctor Who and die?" Going, "No." And then I want to outdo the sort of death in. We were talking about it on WhatsApp the other day, Sam. But Resurrection of the Daleks has some of the best over the top deaths in there as well. There's one who takes, I think, 15 seconds to die, That's sick. Whoever was doing that, he has so he gets exterminated, one of the characters, and he acts like it's hit his heart, because he gets exterminated instead of just doing the old. I mean, you get bear in mind. Remember Destiny and the Daleks when they used to go?
Yeah.
Is it Destiny and the Daleks? He goes, it's quite a haunting scene. He lines up prisoners to get shot, but they all just go exterminate. They go. Whereas they shoot to Resurrection, they obviously went right in, that was rubbish, so everyone does it. And there's one guy who gets shot, he goes,
it's one of my favourite deaths in Doctor Who, because it just goes on too long, and he was he just really wanted to give it his all.
I'll have to watch it.
My favourite in that is one of the do you remember those, you got the Dalek troopers, the humans in the sort of rubbish Dalek costumes. One of them dies. Don't you remember this? He's shooting and he gets shot and he goes, "Oh." Do you remember that? Keep it out for him, man. I'm pretty sure I've seen versions where the noise is edited out, because it's so bad. He literally gets shot and he goes, because they've got these guns. My
They're
parents,
just light bulbs, aren't they? They're
they're just pressing a button that turns the light on. But my poor parents, they grew up with me making those noises. That's it. And then ow, ow. Oh, so when I was a kid, all my mum used to hear me doing the gargles, running around going, ow, ow, ow. Like, what are you doing? I'm doing Daleks, man. Resurrection of the Daleks. I was 5. There's me pretending to die, going. Oh man! Yeah,
All right, guys.
Martyn.
I will watch it. I think this is where we'll leave it today because we're approaching the hour mark. But thanks for joining me, Chris. Before we go, do you have anything to promote apart from the Dark Dimension?
Not at this precise moment because
You're a bit busy.
I'm busy with the little guy over there who keeps me awake every night. I was quite amazed he's been quiet this entire duration of
He's
this
been good.
podcast.
He's been good. He's the 4th member.
It'll be very
Still
good.
team.
Yes, we'll get him on soon.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If this was your first episode, please go back. Check out our back catalogue. We got another couple of episodes like this. And Jared, who's involved with this podcast as well, we're thinking about doing a Marvel one where we look at the Marvel reviews and do those because I found some really, really good, funny, negative Marvel reviews. So, yeah. Okay. Good night.
Good night.